Hello guys, what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time we are taking a look at Robots in Disguise Scorponok. I think this guy looks pretty cool, despite the fact that I don't think this guy actually showed up in the show in Scorpion mode. Yes, he was in there for robot mode, but I don't recall him ever showing up in his Scorpion mode. So, there's that. This is the only one of the three main leaders from Decepticon Island that so far has a toy, which is kind of unfortunate. I would like to see the other two show up in toy form, but at least we have Scorponok, and I think he looks fairly cool. Now, is he better than Paralon? I think that for the color scheme, not really. I like the Paralon in purple. I love this mold in that color scheme. I think it looks so much better. Not just that it's a Decepticon-like color scheme, but I think it just looks better for the Scorpion mode. Not to say that this is bad. I like the burnt orange, I like the brown. The red paint applications is pretty cool. It's just, I think it looks better in the purple Paralon color scheme, which, there you go. So a comparison between the two. I do like the brown, I do like the burnt orange, but you also have this kind of grayish brown metal flake, or not metal flake, but flake color to it, which is just random. Nothing really matches the head. And then you got this random chunk of brown, which, granted, this has a random chunk of dark purple, but at least it's still purple. So, there's that. I don't know, I like the purple color scheme a bit more than the Scorponok color scheme. Speaking of Paralon, I want to show this off before we continue on. I have the packaging for Paralon, and I have it for Scorponok. Now, you can see at the bottom here, you can see both Scorpion alt modes. And it seems like Paralon has a lighter gray color for, let's say, the blade, at least. There's a bunch of other parts in that same color, but let's just take a look at the blade. Now, it seems that Scorponok has a darker gray color scheme to it, but they pretty much match. I know in the lighting they look different, but in person they pretty much match. It's just how the shadows pretty much show that off. And also, I wanted to show off that the heads are pretty similar for these two, except that in the show this guy had a visor. Funny enough, between these, pretty much the artwork is the same, except for the head. There's some design aspects to the head that's different from Scorponok. So they could have easily got the visor onto this, but they decided not to do that. I find that kind of weird because in the show, and in the toy form, he has that visor, so I don't really understand what they're going for with that. Anyways, going back to the Scorponok figure, he has a ball joint right here, so that's pretty good. What I recommend doing is twisting the ball joint because there is a rotation joint right here. There's a mushroom joint. I'd recommend rotating the ball joint to where it's open on this side, because if you have it this way, then it's just going to droop around, and you don't want that, so just leave it up like that. Or you can turn it around like that to where it's exposed on the back, but you would just get this articulation and not so much this attack articulation. You also get an opening and closing mouth. You get a lot of articulation in the tail. There's a joint here, there's a joint here, and there's a ball joint right here. You also get the sword that can plug into the tail, but you can remove that easily if you want. Now, there is something else that I like about this, and actually I like this more than Paralon, is because of the orange color, you can see a difference between that and the gray. Well, originally on Paralon, I thought that this section wasn't painted, and they painted it on the Scorponok. But actually, whatever is painted on this figure is also painted on this figure. This figure has a darker paint of purple on the tail that's barely noticeable, and it matches to this. So I find that kind of funny that they decided to keep the paint applications, just make it a different color. Another comparison that I'd like to do is the Deluxe Class Movie Scorponok, just to have these two. I don't know, I remembered that I had this, so I decided, hey, why not compare the two? And because I have it in alt mode for the review, I also have a wind blade to show off, so there you go, and the wing still keeps popping up. There we go, come on, stand. Okay, you get the idea. So anyways, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and transform Scorponok. So to start, what you want to do is you want to pop off the legs from underneath here. Yes, I know that that keeps popping off. It doesn't normally do that, but it can do that. Anyways, pop off the legs from up here and bring them down. Make sure that you rotate them out of the way from this little bit hanging off the waist. And there we go. Extend out the legs, which are a lot tighter compared to the Paralon. Rotate them around from this mushroom joint and flip out the feet. Next, take these little leg bits and bring them around to the back. Fold this down and it's on the double joint. Before you want to bend that back up, you want to, there's a joint right here where the head is. You're going to bring that down and rotate the head. Next, what you want to do is rotate down the scorpion head and close that back up to where it's going to pop up as far as it will go. And just have it on the back like so. Next, you can do this. You can just leave the claws like this, but I like the pauldrons on the shoulder. So swing that to the side like that, and just connect it right there and straighten out the arm. Open this up. This side was already open. And rotate that around to where you can plug it into place. And just get the arm out of the way. Sometimes it will pop off. Just plug it back on. Give it a nice squeeze. And there you have Scorponok in his robot mode. Now, what you can also do is take the tail and bring it up to here. And the stinger will not lock into place, but it will hold in place right there. What I like to do is just leave this hanging off the back as a scorpion tail. Because, well, it's Scorponok, I think this is appropriate, I like the look of it, so I leave it off the back. And in the show, he actually used that as a weapon, so I guess there's that. Anyways, with that said, I think Scorponok looks pretty good. Now, if you go back to my Transformers Insane Asylum episode, that's my podcast, where I saw this for the first time, I just bawled out laughing because I thought it looked ridiculous. The legs just looked terrible to me. I don't know, the arms looked weird. The body just looked odd. It looked like it wouldn't be able to hold itself up, and I don't know, it just didn't really look right to me. I like the head, and I still continue to like the head. But now getting this guy in hand, I really like the design and aspects, and you know what? I think it's a pretty good figure. A very solid figure, surprisingly enough. In fact, I was saying that Paralon is a very solid figure. I actually think that this, mold-wise, and the joints and everything, is actually a much better figure. Now, as far as the paint job is concerned, I like the Paralon more, and I'm just transforming him off-screen. I don't know, I really like the purple on this guy, but I like the gray on this guy. I think the dark gray really helps to reveal that orange paint that Paralon doesn't really show off, so that's pretty good. The silver abdomen really does help, I do like that, and once again, I love the mold of the head. It's a different head compared to the Paralon, and I think it really works for this guy. I think that if you were to give this head to the Paralon one, Paralon would win by miles. If you swap the head, I think Paralon would win by miles. Of course, people wouldn't want that because Paralon has a more Beast Wars Scorponok look to him. But just personally, I think this head really works and really stands out. Now, I finally got Paralon in his robot mode. And as you can see, it's pretty much the same thing, but with purple, and then instead of the red, it's got yellow. The abdomen has this weird pink color, and this one just has silver, but the head really looks good. I like both heads, but I love the Scorponok head a little bit more. It just looks more scorpion to me, so I really do like that. But with that out of the way, I love the shoulder pauldrons on the back of both of them. I think that looks really cool, too. And I love that they have a pirate theme to it with the hook hands. I don't know. Does anyone else get that? I feel like that's either a bug thing or a pirate thing. I think I'm getting a pirate theme because these were the colors for the Ninjago Pirates about a year back or whenever that came out. So I really do like this. I love the paint scheme, but I don't love it as much as Paralon. But it's pretty much the same figure. You know, you get ball joint in the head, which is very good. Ball joint right here, and the flaps get out of the way so you can get more articulation out of that. You got the same basic sword, you know, it doesn't do anything. Elbow joint, you get a rotation right here, nothing at the wrist. You get a ball joint right here, you get a rotation, and you get double joint, double hinge right there, and you get the foot. So, very nice, and once again, I think the knees are a lot tighter on this, but that might just be mine, and also the fact that I've only had Scorponok for a short time compared to Paralon. Ball joint in the tail and a bunch of hinges, it's the same articulation in the tail. I don't know, I really like this Scorponok. I think it's done better than the movie deluxe Scorponok, which I'm trying to find. There it is. I'm just going to transform that quickly, even though, oh god, it's going to take forever for me to transform it. I'm done. Yeah, way better. This guy looks way better. And you can make him taller, too, because he's got the double legs. That's what I really like. So, let's size compare him with Chrome Dome, even though that's not going to mean much, because, once again, he has the double joints for the legs. So, with that in mind, he can go as short as that, just from the double joints, or he can go about as high as that. So, that's pretty cool. I do like that. So, with that out of the way, that is pretty much Scorponok. Do I recommend him? I don't think I'd recommend him over Paralon. I think Paralon is a better looking figure just from the color scheme. But if you really love Paralon, I'd say go ahead and get Scorponok. I think that Scorponok looks really good. And especially if you put Paralon next to Scorponok. I think these two together, even though they're not together in the show, look really cool. They just look like they're brother and brother, so that's pretty good. With that out of the way, I thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads, and I'll see you guys next time.